Hello everyone, welcome to part 62 of my Digimon Adventure PSP playthrough. Oh my god, we've actually beaten a Pokemon, we've actually saved the world. So, we're now greeted with this scene. The primary village is back to normal. All happy and brightly coloured again with baby eggs and stuff. And Electron looks far too fucking happy about that. So this is just like the end sort of part, I suppose you could say. There's nothing really much going on here. It's just like the concluding part of the anime anyway. Because of course there is a little bit more going on after this. But obviously, you know, it's just like extra stuff based on the movie and the digital dimension. You could argue that this is technically the point where the game comes to an end. Because, yeah, this is where the anime sort of came to an end. So Andromon's suggesting we take a photograph to commemorate the occasion. That sounds like a good idea. We get to be posers. So we can talk to a bunch of people, I think. I don't know if that makes any difference whatsoever, just talking to these guys. I presume it's just all like, oh, well done, you've saved the world, yay. Awesome sauce. Everything's back to normal. No, I apologise for any background noise. Anyway, you want to talk to Andromon, I think, if you want the photograph to be taken. And it'll be option 1. So now we get a photograph taken. So, say cheese! You actually said that as well. Oh my god, one of the eggs has hatched. See, all the Digimon are being reborn slowly but surely. And they actually state at the end of the anime, at least in the English version, that Digimon are going to end up being reborn after, you know, after they died. So Waymon's going to come back and all of them. If I remember rightly from Season 2, Waymon actually does come back to life. He does get reborn. But not all of the Digimon gets reborn. Spoiler, Wizardmon doesn't. Sad, I know, but yeah. Ogremon can't take being around Digimon that are all vaccine and data types because he's a virus type. So now we're back here. This is actually the point where Yamato battled Seadramon for the very first time. I think that was in part 4. Whoa, that's going some time back, isn't it? Back then I had no idea I was going to finish this. So obviously there's like a discussion at hand. The kids are now talking about what they should do now that the world has been saved. Do they stay in the digital world? Do they go back to their home in the real world? And they decide to stick around. Well, that's the initial plan. Because they are on holiday from school. So they don't need to worry about that. And there's this whole talk about how the digital world's time runs differently, the digital world and stuff. Well, at least it did. they work out that, you know, with the time difference, they'd be in the digital world for 110 years. Well, if you were around for 110 years, you wouldn't need to go back to fucking school. You'd be dead. So the kids are all like, yay, let's stick around. And then the sun, well, looks like an eclipse, doesn't it? Well, it's not an eclipse. Basically, I'm assuming that a lot of it's down to the fact that Apocalypse did a lot of damage. And so the digital world kind of needs to repair itself. Almost like a computer needing to reboot or something. Or one of those, run a startup repair. But basically the times now become synchronised to the digital world and the real world. You know, the time runs at exactly the same sort of pace now. It's not, you know, separate anymore. But that eclipse has a much bigger meaning. Because, like I said, the digital world needs to repair itself after Apocalypse. The times become synchronised, yes, but what is up there is that eclipse is a gate. The gateway between the two worlds. So a little bit different from my own, from Vandemon's gate. I nearly called him my Otismon again. But basically saying you've got 2 hours left, and then you've got to go. Otherwise you're going to be trapped here forever. Which of course we all know is bullshit, because 3 years down the line, they return to the digital world. So we get the sad goodbye scenes between the Digimon and their partners. Kind of sad in the anime, if I remember rightly. These guys have been through so much together, and, you know, then they make these big plans. They're going to stay for 110 years because they think the time in the digital world is still going to be going, like, really tons faster than the real world. And then they're like, oh, well, we can spend 4 weeks here, when they find out that that's not the case. And then, and then they find, you know, no, you've only got 2 hours. You gotta go. You've just saved the world. Now we're kicking you out. So, you know, these guys have been through tons together. They've got to say hello. Say hello. They've got to say goodbye to these friends who protected them and really helped them grow as people. They've been together for quite a long time, and well, 62 parts in the case of this playthrough. And now they're having to say their farewells. No, not knowing when they're going to see each other again, or even if they're going to see each other again. But obviously we know that, you know, Season 2 happened 3 years after the events of Season 1. So they do see their partners again. In fact, a few of them even see their partners way before that. I'm obviously referring to the movie, which I am going to be tackling next. Because that's obviously what happens next chronologically in the game. But yeah, so it's not like this is really the end. But you've got to bear in mind that at the time the kids didn't know this. They thought that this was the end. They're never going to see these guys again. These Digimon who gave so much for them. And, you know, helped them grow. I'd be devastated if it were me. But this is, like I say, a really touching goodbye sort of sequence. As I say, all this is just dialogue. That's all there is to this part. Kind of rounding off the events of the anime. Oh, shut up, Takeru! And you, Patamon. As I say, all this is just like, exposition and shit. We'll actually get back into gameplay in the next part. You could argue that, like I say, that listen, you could argue that the game kind of ends here because the credits play after this episode, and then you don't get credits playing after the digital dimension segments, or the movie for that matter. So you could argue that the movie and the digital dimension segments are just like extra shit, like after game shit. And I don't normally do after game in Pokemon, so it seems a bit odd that I'm doing it for Digimon, but why the hell not? I've had a fun time with this game, and that's quite surprising because I'm not actually that fond of Digimon games, really, compared to Pokemon games. Pokemon games I've always found to be the strongest series. You know, I've always found Pokemon to be the strongest series where video games are concerned, and Digimon is stronger where anime is concerned. But I actually had a surprisingly good time with this game. So I'm okay about doing after game stuff. Though, rest assured, when I get to the digital dimension segments, I'm probably going to be regretting that because I'll be moaning like sin the whole way through. It goes without saying I'm not fond of the digital dimension segments. I had to do a lot of fucking editing to get that to look, you know, somewhat entertaining, I suppose you could say. Because otherwise it was going to drag out for too long. I don't know if they were laughing or crying. Sounds like it could have been both. Anyway, Hikari and Tailmon now. And what can I say? These two have actually been really helpful in this journey. So Hikari gives Tailmon her whistle. And then tells her that they will see each other again. What can I say? These two actually turned out to be really handy. I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be using these two ever again in this LP. I mean, it's only the movie and the digital dimension segments, but still. I loved those two guys. They were so useful. All that healing power. Anyway, Mimi can't find Palmon anywhere because Palmon's selfish. Doesn't even consider the fact that Mimi's equally sad about having to say goodbye to her. So Palmon's just upped and left. And the reason for that is because, like I say, she finds it too painful to say goodbye to Mimi. Well, Mimi probably finds it painful to say goodbye to you too, you selfish plant. So that eclipse hasn't moved at all. So now we're saying farewell to Genai. He's going to send us on our way home. We now get the opportunity to go and talk to our friends with Taichi. And why the hell not? Let's have one last look around. Because we're not going to be seeing this place again. This beautiful place. Oh, there's Yamato. There's a save point there and I do not know why. Is it just to skip past all the exposition? There's really no need for that save point to be there. There's no Digimon around, so you don't have to worry about fighting anybody. This is, like I say, just the end of the story. We've saved the world. We don't need to fight anybody else. So Joe's there. Hello. Or are we talking to the Digimon more so than the partners? More so than the kids? I don't know. Well, either way, we're sort of saying farewell in any case to all the other Digimon as well. I'm not going to be seeing them again. So... Actually, is there anything Over to the left. The right, I mean, not the left. I get my lefts and rights confused sometimes. I'm like that. No, you can't go this way. Okay, fine. But you can go this way. Like I say, this is also kind of like to draw out the final part a little bit because I didn't want it to be too short. And like I say, this is the last time we're going to be seeing the digital world, so we may as well make the most of it. Just get one last look around. It's kind of solemn, bittersweet almost. I really think we're probably talking more to the Digimon than we are to the humans at this rate. So Takeru's over here. Okay. That's Takeru. Anybody else? There's nothing over here, so let's have a look up. God, I remember wandering around this segment back in part 4 looking for sparkly food with Yamato and Gabumon, and then shortly after we went face to face with Seedramon. That takes me back. Anyway, Palmon's still fucked off. Still no sign of her. There's the Gekamon. And then up here we have Hikari and Teomon. Don't you dare think of staying here, Hikari, by running away this far. Like I say, Hikari's pretty sure that we're going to see them again. And she's right, you know. We are going to see them again. Well, the kids are anyway. Unfortunately, there is no Adventure 2 video game. It would be awesome if they would come out with one, but I don't see it happening. This was a 15th anniversary game. But if they do come out with a Season 2 game, you know, Adventure 2 game, I'll buy it in a heartbeat. I loved Adventure 2 growing up. And I also quite like Tamers. Didn't really get to watch Frontier because I don't think it was aired over here. Or something like that. And if it was, I missed it completely. Data Squad I've seen a bit of. But, I don't know yet how to feel about that one. And Cross Wars, again. And I know I said the save point was useless, but I'm just saving so that I don't have to sit through that exposition again in case something does happen. But yeah. I was saying, I haven't really seen much of Cross Wars either, but then again, that's Japanese only at the moment. Anyway, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a good, fun ride here in the digital world. Talk to Jedi when you're ready to go. It'll be option 1. And yeah, the kids are ready to go home now. Why are they? Oh wait, no. There are 8 kids. Sorry, it's just Mimi was hiding Sora. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there is only 7 kids showcased here. Oh wait, yeah, because Kushiro will be in the tram, won't he? Yeah, you tell her, Mimi. She's an idiot. Anyway, we cut to Palmon where she's oh so devastated that Mimi's leaving. And you still can't go and say goodbye to her. You know, some friend you are. Mimi's probably just as devastated, if not more devastated than you are. Goodbyes are painful, but Jesus, we do them so we don't regret not saying goodbye. She says this as she's dancing. God, I make it sound like I'm a real Palmon hater. I'm not. It's just, I just didn't like playing as her in this game. I don't know, it's just lack of defense. And I don't know, I just found myself not going to her very much in this game. Anyway, the main theme of the game, Butterfly, plays. And we get to see the credits. So the kids are going back home on the tram. saying goodbye to their Digimon. And the fucking eclipse has moved. Sayonara, bitches. Until the movie. Anyway, I think the Gekomon talked some sense into Palmon because she runs along and is shouting bye-bye to Mimi. This part is actually going to be slightly lengthier than I actually thought, because after the credits they display what happens, you know, you get a brief glimpse of what's happening to the kids after the events of the anime. And I actually did not know about that until it happened. But yeah, the kids leave. Bye-bye digital world, it was nice being here and, you know, nearly getting killed countless times. So the kids fly into the sun. I'm surprised that they don't go blind or something. Or burn up, but whatever. And we don't see the eclipse ever again, so it just kind of says, are they... Did they just make that shit up to kick the kids out? So now we get the real credits, and my word, we get to hear Braveheart once again. They play Braveheart quite a lot. Is that just me? I mean, I don't object. Braveheart is a fantastic song, but still. Anyway, like I said, that was Digimon Adventure PSP. I'm not quite finished yet because I want to do the after game. So we're looking at about 6 more parts. 2 based on the movie and 4 based on the Digital Dimension segments. You could argue that this is all after game stuff though, and if that's the case then this technically is the end of the game. And I had fun. I really did. I had a great time playing this game. Though, I will say the after-game segments aren't anywhere near as good as the main game, okay? I'm just going to come straight out and say it. It's like they kind of gave up a little bit at the after-game. Well, at least that's just how I felt. I mean, I really didn't like the Digital Dimension segments. And mainly because they were so repetitive. But you'll see what I mean when I get to them. But I sat through them anyway just to get them up, and... Don't expect this treatment from me from a Pokemon game, except maybe Soul Silver, because, or you know, or the 2nd gen Pokemon game, something. There you go, because that actually has a after game that I consider worth playing for as well. Like I said, I love the Digimon Adventure anime, so I really wanted to, like I say, I really wanted to do the after game for this as well. And you'll be seeing that in the following 6 parts, and then that'll be it for this game. I'll have done it, and then I'll be quite shocked that I've actually done it, but I've done it, okay? So we get this scene now. Remember Takeru passing this point. Episode 15, I think? You know, part 15. But the gates, but the narrator's basically saying those gates aren't going to stay closed forever. They're going to open up one day and the kids will be able to return. That's a kind of like a nice hint into the movie and to season 2. Season 2 is awesome. I really wouldn't say no if they made a game based on season 2. Please! I needs to play as Ken and Davis, Daisuke, whatever. So now we're catching up with all the kids in the real world. This is just like extra stuff, just to see what they're getting up, you know, up to after the events of the anime. They're obviously getting ready to go into high school or something. Actually, are they? Because they look like they're still 11 years old. But I do know that Yamato at this point was starting to get into rock bands, and well, in season 2 he was in a rock band. In the anime, the English dub of the anime, it was called the Teenage Wolves. Makes sense given that Garbymon was a wolf. So like, this is just all exposition, and please tell me that these two aren't arguing again. I don't think they are. No, they're not. Okay, fine. I can let them off. They're not arguing. God, you've come such a long way. There's really no need for you to argue like little pussies. Grow the fuck up. They do talk about their experiences in the digital world, I think, as well. Which I don't object to. Like I said, this is just all extra stuff just to see what they're getting up to after the digital world. So he's spoken to Yamato. Because Taichi goes and chats to all the kids. Because he is the leader, so I suppose it makes sense that he's the one to do it. Then we get to chat to Sora, whom I believe is starting to get more into tennis than football. And yes, I call it football. You're kicking a ball around with your feet. I know it's called soccer over there, but I call it football. I'm sorry, because I'm British and that's what it's called over here. But yeah, like I say, Sora's more into tennis now than football. And I don't know, she might have to wear a skirt or something. And Taichi, I think, isn't remotely bothered that she's getting into tennis, and Sora doesn't like that. Oh, Taichi, you are so dense. She cares about what you think, damn it. There was kind of, like I say, hints that Sora might have had a crush on Taichi, but obviously we know by season 2 that that died off and she started going out with Yamato instead. Well, Taichi, if you hadn't been so dense, you'd have landed the girl. So now we get to chat to Kushiro, whom I believe is still studying ways to try and get back into the digital world. Well, he's a smart kid, he'll work it out. God, it's making me... Playing this game has made me really wish I could re-watch the first season of the anime, and the second, actually. I was so fond of season 2, I remember when it came out. I was 9 years old. I had the biggest crush on Ken. I am not embarrassed by it. I'm 24 now, so obviously I've grown out of it. But yeah, I was 9 years old. Cut me some slack. Yeah, I'm getting the urge to rewatch Digimon again. I don't know. The only ones that, you know, that's legitimately out on a, you know, the full series is out legitimately and on DVD, I think, is Data Squad. And Data Squad, it's not bad, it's just doesn't compare to Adventure and Adventure 2 and Tamers. But then again, maybe that might be nostalgia speaking. But I do genuinely think it won't stand up to Adventure. The first Digimon Adventure is a classic. To me, anyway. So, have you cracked it yet? So like I say, Kushiro's going to keep working on trying to get back into the digital world. And man, this part is actually going to be a lot longer than what I thought. Maybe there was no point in me walking around, but I just really wanted to give a feeling of bittersweetness, maybe? Mimi's got a new hat, and it's identical to the one that she lost. How the hell did she manage that? She must have copies. I don't know what happens with Mimi exactly, but I do know that in season 2, her parents have moved her over to America, presumably out of fear of what happened with the whole Digimon thing. I don't know if they referenced that here, but... Well, evidently she hasn't moved yet. But yeah, like I say, in season 2 she's living in America. Because obviously here they're living in Japan. Doi. But it doesn't matter where in the world you run to, your parents run you to, Mimi, you'll never be able to get away from the digital world. Not that I don't think she wants to. But yeah, Mimi's quite happy at this point in time. But that should clarify what happens to her in season 2. Then we get to talk to Joe, who I believe is still studying, still working towards studying to become a doctor at 12 years old. I will say that he gets a lot cooler in season 2. Grows his hair out. A lot more laid back and less whiny. Way less whiny, in fact. He's actually a source of wisdom almost to some of the younger kids who join the adventure. But yeah, I can't really remember exactly what happened with Joe outside of that, other than the fact that he actually gets kind of cool in season 2 and much less whiny. Definitely an improvement. Damn it, now I really want to watch season 2 again. Okay, Taichi, stop taking the piss out of Joe. So, Joe now leaves. And now we get to a chance to chat with Takeru. I can't really say much about Takeru other than Takeru and Hikari actually become really good friends in the real world outside of the digital world. Just good friends in general. I suppose I can't blame people for shipping the two of them together. Two angels and all that. I believe in season 2, Takeru moves to the rough sort of area that the other kids are living in. Because in the season 1 he was living outside the area. His parents are still separated though. And he actually is one of the two main players. Well, he comes back as a main player in season 2's team. The other main player being Hikari. But yeah, he does grow up quite a lot in season 2. Still doesn't like darkness and issues with the darkness, and still haunted by what happened with Angemon in a fight against Devimon, but hey ho. But you know, Takeru now lives in the rough area the other kids are in, so now he gets to see Yamato a lot more, which is great. And then we get to chat with the last child, Hikari. Obviously at their home. Hikari, like I said before, is very much positive that they're going to return to the digital world. And also, as has been noted, she has actually become good friends with Takeru outside of the digital world. And she also is one of the main players in the season 2 team when Digimon, 3 years are on in Digimon Adventure 02. And she also carries around a camera and is frigging good looking apparently, because all the guys start chasing after her. And Daisuke, the leader of the season 2 team, gets all jealous whenever she talks to Takeru. But yeah, that's season 2. And I really look forward to maybe I'll really have to watch that again. Damn it. So what's all this about Sora? I know that they're on about Sora. I heard the name. Anyway, anyway, that ends this playthrough technically. Stay tuned till next time when we will head into the after game and tackle the movie segments. I will see you then.